Hello, good evening, happy Friday night. Welcome back to this episode of Sad John Botmere from Bandus. I'm your host, Johnson McGain, and let's get into it. Today we're going to discuss Season 5, Episode 12. It all ends here for now. And then we're going to discuss Season 4B, Episode 19. Spring Break is here. Woohoo! So, this is actually the last episode, the season finale of Season 12. Um, Next week I'll be on a spring break hiatus, so I won't be here next week. In season 13, which is the final season, which I can't believe it. And I chose season 13 to be our last season because 13 is my favorite number because it's Taylor Swift's favorite number. So I have to do it. So our final season, season 13, which is crazy, the final season ever of Sajon Block begins, unless they want me to extend it, but the final season for sure ever begins on March 16th. Um, so that will be exciting. So, but this is the last episode of season 12. So, so let's begin with season 5, episode 12. It all ends here for now. So this is eighth grade. This is a lockdown episode. This is the last day of eighth grade, sadly enough, and it's at home. But um, so yeah, this is kind of an emotional episode, kind of. So um, yeah, so it starts out, he gets breakfast, his cereal, he does like, he chit chats with Mom and Luke, he does his little dance to get energized for the day, for the last day of e-learning, the last day of eighth grade. It's kind of sad, and um, um, and so he after breakfast, he starts with some assignments. He does English first, for Miss Hendricks, and then he does his assignment for reading for Miss Warnock. Um, and when he goes, I think either when he submits these assignments, so you can leave a comment, or he emails his teacher at the end of each assignment. He emails them or something and says, "Thank you for their service. It was nice to have you as a teacher," or something like that. As a goodbye message, kind of, which is kind of sad, but kind of special. Um, so um, and then he takes a little break, and then he does his science assignment with for Miss Fairchild. And these assignments are very easy. Some of them are just attendance, um, because it's the last day. So and then after that, he takes a lunch break. So him, Mom, and Luke got lunch. They got their meal, um, and they go back home. They actually go to and then they eat. I think they actually eat outside on their deck because it's such a nice spring, almost summer day. So, which is nice. Um, if school was actually still in session on the last day, they were going to go to the pool, and they usually um, and but they didn't get to do that, so that's what they usually do. But not this time around because it's online. But um, but anyway, um, and then after lunch, he actually calls Erica. They chit chat. They talk about some summer plans. Um, and that he can't believe that he finished, e-learning, and he's finished with eighth grade, and he's done. And next year he'll be in the high school soon, and he can't believe it. And she says, "Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm so proud of you. You made it." good job. And then they work on their pre-algebra assignment, the last one, and thank God it wasn't too bad. Um, but and then they chit chat about other stuff, and then that's it. And then um, and then he does his geography assignment for Mr. Winwich. It's pretty chill. Then him and mom does their choir ed puzzle, the final one, and praise the Lord. They get through it, um, and um, and then I think that was his last assignment ever that he did was that one. Yeah. Which, oh my gosh. And then we take a break. He does some games. He does some stuff with Luke, and then he goes to his bed, lays down, listens to some music, and looks at some memories and some pictures of eighth grade year, and remembers the good times, the good vibes with Burhood. He thinks it's all over, you know, and he remembers the memories. It's kind of an emotional scene. He cries a little bit, thinking what could have been and what. Uh, but he remembers the good times though, of the boyhood and eighth grade year. And what during this scene, he actually texts all his members of the boyhood and says thank you, even former members, and says thank you for joining being part of my brotherhood. Thank you for always being my friend. We had some ups and downs with the brotherhood, but overall it was amazing. And thank you, and I hope you have a good summer, and I can hopefully to see you soon and stuff, and have a good summer. So it's kind of emotional for me personally, and more so for my character, um, because this was his empire, this was his birthhood, and he was the leader. He's the savage, and he is his way and the highway. But and it's coming to an end. It seems like, and he wishes it would be different, and he can see him in person and do some fun things for last day. But but he knows that you know you can't always get what you want. And you just have to make best of your situation and stuff. And when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But it was kind of a difficult time personally. And I was like, oh my gosh. But after that, and that's how, after the text with the boyfriend members, that was the last scene of eighth grade year. Um, so. And that was it. And I say it's the end for now because little did Hunter know that a couple years later, for 11th grade, that the Barhead would be back. And yeah, but at the time he didn't know that, so it was the end. But we changed it when we bought back Sarah John Bot. We changed it for when we bought season 7 and 8 um, after 5 and 6. Um, we changed it to it's the end for now. So because Hunter comes back. um. So um. And I'm talking about the end. I mean, it's the end for now because uh, we'll be for it's not the end of Sandra Marathon Madness either. We will be back after my spring hiatus. Um, but I just thought that for the season 12 finale, that would make sense. Now let's talk about season 4B episode. What was it? Episode. Um, what's that one? 4B episode 19. Spring break is here. Woohoo! So, um, so it starts out with breakfast, and I think um, this is a Friday too. Breakfast. He does his chit chat with Mom and Luke, and he does his dance. Then he does work begins to work on his assignments. He does English. He does reading. Then they take a small break, um, and then he does his science assignment. Um, and they're all easy because it's basically spring break, which is basically this extended um, version of it because it's the lockdown. So we're all kind of, but we never go back. But we go back. Anyway, it was a crazy time. It was a weird time. But anyway, um, and then, um, they have the Hunter, Mom, and Luke have lunch. And actually, then they do some errands and stuff, and then they go to this park called Cherry Creek Gardens, and they walk around. They went around, um, and do some outdoor stuff, and that was fun. And then then they go back um, and um, I think Hunter and Luke do an activity recess time, I guess. Um, I think they play Uno or something. Um, and um, um, and then he does and then he calls Erica and they chit chat and they talk about spring break and they talk about some plans they're doing. Um, Even though there's not much going on because it's a lockdown at this point. Um, but anyway, but they still have some just relaxing, maybe some fun small plans. But anyway, and then they do their pre-algebra assignment, and then they chit chat some more, and then they move on. And then Hunter and Mom does the choir ed puzzle, and um, then he does his geography assignment, and then they do Hunter and Luke and Mom probably do another activity, and they go outside, and then he closes out the day with a little ritual dance. Closes out the weekend and heads into spring break, and it's now spring break, and he has an amazing time. But like I said, this is it for season 12. I am now on my spring break hiatus. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week and a half. Um, and I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday night and a wonderful weekend as well. Uh, but this is it for season 12. I'll be back for season 13, the final season, which I can't believe. Oh my gosh. Starting March 16th. So I'll see you then. May God bless and protect each and every one of you, and I'll see you March 16th. I'll see you then. Bye for now.